Good morning, students. So yesterday in science lesson number 2 we have learned about the heterotrophic nutrition in plants. We have taken some types of heterotrophic plants also, that is parasitic plants, saprophytes. So now in today's video we will learn about the next topic, that is our insectivorous plants. So what is insectivorous plants? So the word insectivorous, here is one word comes, that is insects. So from that name we can say that the plants, those plants who eat insects for their nutrition, that type of plants are called as insectivorous plants, or the plants for which their food is insects. So that type of plants are known as insectivorous plants. So now one question arises, that is why it is need to eat insects for that plant. So the answer is some plants grow in a harsh soil conditions where there is a deficiency in nitrogen compounds in that type of soil. So that's why to complete their nitrogen requirement, that type of plants eat insects, that is animals or insects, and they depend upon that animal sources to complete their nitrogen requirement. So how that plants trap that insects? So plants attract that insects with the help of their attractive color, scent, nectar and lure to trap that insects. So there are some examples of that type of insectivorous plants. First one is pitcher plant. That one is a pitcher plant. That one is a Venus flytrap. And again there are some examples given, that is bladderwort and sundew plants. So how Venus flytrap traps the insects? So it is given here. Look at the diagram. So that Venus flytrap have stiff hairs, again leaf blade. So when insects fly over that, or by mistakenly that insects sits on that part of the plant, that two parts of that leaf get closed when insect sits inside that or on that that fly trap, that is Venus flytrap's leaf. So when insects sit here, that two sides of that leaf get closed tightly, and that's why that insect sitting here gets trapped inside it. So that part is used to trap the insects inside, and here some of the digestive juices which help that insects to help that plant to digest insects. So next one is a pitcher plant. So pitcher plant has a pitcher shaped structure which is filled with the liquid, and it has one flap like structure, that is the flap like structure on its mouth. So it works as a lid for that plant. So at the opening of that pitcher, it is slippery, that is when insect sits on that surface, insects just get slips or falls into the pitcher. That means when insects sit here, it gets slips under the pitcher plant, and here the insect is digested inside the pitcher body. Then that is a shape of pitcher shape, that is leaf blade, which is modified into the shape of pitcher, and that one is a petiole. So when insect sits here, that insect gets slipped from that surface inside that pitcher, and that lid, that is a flap like structure, gets closed, and here that insect gets digested. So that is a pitcher plant. So next one is the sundew plant. So sundew have long needle like structures, that is called as tentacles. So when any insect stick here with how that insect stick here? With the help of sticky substance. That sticky substance is called as a mucus. So because of that mucus, when insect sits here, it get stick to that part, and after that all tentacles get tentacles fold inwards, and that insects gets trapped here. So how that sundew plant traps the insect. The next one type of heterotrophic plants is symbiotic plants. So what is symbiosis? So symbiosis is a mutually beneficial relation between two or more organisms in which food and shelter are shared by both the organisms. So it is a relation in which two or more organisms which can share their food as well as they share their shelter. That means and without harming each other. So we have seen that in parasitic plants, what does happen when parasitic plants grow on a host? Whenever that parasitic plants take food from the host plant gets damaged. So that is not a symbiosis relation. But in this type of plants, both the plants get benefited without any harm done to either of them. So here, what is meant by symbiosis? Symbiosis is a relation in which two or more organisms share their food as well as their shelter without any harm done. So plants that show symbiotic relationship are called symbiotic plants. So those plants which shows symbiotic relationship, that type of plants are called as the symbiotic plants. So lichens are good example where microscopic chlorophyll containing organism called algae and fungi are involved. So the example is lichens. So where algae and fungi, both the organisms are present. So we know that algae perform photosynthesis as we have learned in the previous topic. So algae consists of chlorophyll. So what algae does? So algae produce food through photosynthesis, and fungi provide shelter to that algae. That means algae share their food, share its food, and fungi provide shelter to the that algae. So that algae can survive in a harsh weather conditions also, and fungi absorb water and nutrients from the soil to help the algae in photosynthesis. So how both algae and fungi helps each other. So that type of relation like fungi and algae, that relation is called as a symbiotic relation or symbiosis, and that type of plants are known as the symbiotic plants. So here is given one table, the differences between parasitic and symbiotic relationship. So we will see we will see it. So first one column is parasitic, second is symbiotic relationship. So the organisms involved are called host and parasite. So in parasitic relationship, two organisms involved, one is host and second one is parasites. And what about symbiotic relationship? So in symbiotic relationships, the organisms which involved are called as a symbioton. Second point of parasitic relationship is the parasites is benefited, the host is harmed. So here in parasitic relationship, only one organism get benefited and host is get harmed. But in symbiotic, both the organisms involved are mutually benefited. So both organisms get benefited. Then the third point, parasites have modified roots called the hostria to suck the nutrients from the host plant. So parasites have special type of roots to absorb nutrient from the host plant, and here no such special structures are used. Here in parasitic relationship, some parasites may make their host completely devoid of nutrients. So here that parasitic relationship is too dangerous because one of the parasites may cause the other host plant completely devoid of nutrients. So ऐसे हो सकता है कि जो पैरासाइट्स है वो जो भी होस्ट प्लांट पे ग्रो कर रहा है उस प्लांट को कम्प्लीटली डिवॉइड कर दे, मतलब उसको न्यूट्रिएंट मिलना ही उसका न्यूट्रिएंट उसमें बनना ही बंद कर दे. बट इन सिम्बायोटिक रिलेशनशिप, so one of the organism provide nutrients while other provides protection or other benefits. So here इसमें क्या होता है, कोई एक प्लानेट न्यूट्रिएंट्स प्रोवाइड करता है तो दूसरा ऑर्गेनिज्म उसे प्रोटेक्शन प्रोवाइड करता है या फिर कुछ अदर बेनिफिट्स भी देता है. So the next is given here. You have to sort and list that following organisms given here as autotrophs and heterotrophs. So you have to divide that given list. Like coconut tree, where does coconut trees grouped into which type, autotrophs or heterotrophs, you have to write here. And lichens, lotus plants, sundew, bird nest, orchid, pitcher plant and cuscuta. So that is your homework, you have to do it. And we will see the next topic on tomorrow. Thank you.